Check this out. We gotta really clean those out. You want to go all the way down. Alright guys, welcome to part 2 on the Honda Fourtrax 250. As you guys know, we picked this thing up for 150 bucks last video. Tore it down, and we found out that the piston and cylinder were just horrible. Filled with water, rust, crap like that. The whole bottom end of the motor was filled with water when I took out the plug for the oil, so that wasn't good. We're going to take off the cylinder now and see what that piston looks like and see what that crank looks like. It's gonna be interesting here. Let's do that. It's just held on by these two bolts right there. I've been pounding this thing and we finally got it to budge. Check this out. Things in there. It's coming. Alright, finally. Piston is free from the cylinder. Oh man. Yeah, those rings are stuck in there pretty good. Let's see if it rotates over now. Looks like it might. It's pretty crunchy down here. Well, the crank rotates. That's a good sign. So let's get that piston off of there, and I think we'll soak that in the ultrasonic cleaner up there. Check how smooth this is. See if we can get through here. So I think our crank is good. It was packed with ice. I'll see if I can find an ice chunk to pull out. You can see the ice chunks right there on top. So I think what happened was this thing filled with water, froze, locked up the crank, and then the water on top of the piston rusted the piston to the cylinder wall, so it just locked up the whole machine. But now we're free and we're good to go. I'm just gonna check the crank rod if there's any barely any back and forth, 0 up and down. Huh. The rod is still good, the rod bearings are still good, so that's awesome. I think all we have to do now is check out the piston, and actually the piston's looking pretty good too. We just have to free up those rings, and I think we're gonna be good. Slap it back together and I think it might start up. That is insane. And then the cylinder is actually really good on the inside. Check that out. 0 scratches on that thing. So just put a hone through that, and I think we're gonna be good. The thing I'm worried about are the valves. We gotta really clean those out, but we'll get to that. Alright guys, so I let the piston sit in the ultrasonic cleaner. I was able to get the rings out, but we ended up breaking one of the rings and I damaged the piston trying to do that. You can see right there. The ring wouldn't come out in that area, and I tried pounding it out with a hammer and I messed up the piston, which isn't a big deal. I'm just going to buy a new piston for it and slap it in there. Probably a top end gasket kit as well. These are a little rough. And you know, probably just hone out the cylinder today. Quick. It's really not too bad. I do have a ball hone I can stick in there. And then we're going to be working on the valves today as well. You can see that I cleaned it up a little bit, but we're probably just going to disassemble up here. Take these off, take the springs out, see if there's some valve seals underneath there. Those are probably all hardened up and rotten. So I think that comes with the top end kit, so we can install those. But we'll take those apart, see if those are stuck, which I'm guessing they are. And I think that's pretty much it. If the new piston comes, we hone that out, and we get the valves all cleaned up, I think we should be good to go. I spent probably 2 hours yesterday heating up the engine, and a bunch of water came out of it. I found out that the reason it wouldn't shift is because the whole thing was pretty much like a block of ice. So it wouldn't shift through the gears because I'm guessing in the shift drum area, the little shift forks wouldn't slide because it was all ice. So now it shifts, you can see. So that's awesome. And everything works as it should. We got all the water out of it, as much as I could at least. We're probably gonna do like an engine flush here with oil for the first couple seconds it starts up, get it all hot, flush it out, and then add new oil. I think that sounds like a good plan. I do, however, today want to hook up a battery to it and see if the electrical turns on and see if we get some spark here. That would be nice if we did. And I think that's the plan for today. It does now work with this, you can see spinning the engine over. So everything works there. The crank is good. There's no play in the crank at all. So that's really good, no up and down play. And then, oh yeah, we gotta clean up the carburetor as well. So lots to do. Let's start with the electrical. Let's hook up a battery jumper pack to it and see if this thing turns on. All right, got the jumper pack on here. Let's turn this on. Let's see what happens. Let's see if the key light's up here. Oh yeah, that works. Lights work. So it's in neutral, it says. Neutral light's working. I don't want to hit the starter really. But yeah, the starter's not grounded out. I'm not gonna hit the starter. It looks like the lights don't work right now. Let's see if we get some spark when we rotate the engine over. Keep an eye on that. I'll rotate the engine over. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Got spark. You guys see that? Did it for a brief second there. We're in business now. Alright, so I'm pretty sure these are stuck in here. Because when I push down on them, I can't get them to release. We're probably gonna have to relap these, just to make sure that that seat is good in there. But let's get those out of there. We've got this tool. It's a valve compressor. Those be used for this. There we go. Pop through. And there's these little pins in there. That one came. There we go. Ooh. Chunk of something. That's not good. Alright, 2 little pins. Back that off. Maybe that's a little bit better. Not too sure. Big spring. So this right here, right there, that's the valve seal. It's pretty like rock hard. Let's see if we can punch that through. Valve is pretty stuck in there. Huh. Does not want to budge. Alright guys, not looking good. Look how rusty that is in there. It's extremely rusty. I don't know if that's savable. That is crazy. That's such a bummer though. Look how bad those are in there. I mean, there's so much rust. Yeah, that's not good. Plus, getting the valve out, I actually chipped the valve. So. Alright, we got the valve out. You can see it's pretty rough. The rod was just rusted right in. The other one came right out though. The exhaust, which is funny because usually the exhaust is way worse than the intake. So you can see I accidentally chipped it up here on this part of it. So that's junk. Probably need to buy a new valve or valves, not sure. And then let's check out in here. Yeah, it's a little rough in there. Lots of carbon built up. The seats aren't pitted or anything too bad. It's hard to tell. Yeah, they're not pitted or anything. You can kind of see they're not too pitted in there. So those should clean up with a little lapping. But in order to lap the valves, we need to get the new valves. So we're going to order up some new valves for it. Just 2 of them. And get some new valve seals too. These are the old valve seals. There. Those are all really hardened. Like really, really hard. Just junk. Alright, well, we got that done. On to the next step. Alright, let's work on the cylinder a bit. We can see that the sides of it have a little bit of rust through here built up. You can see all the way around pretty much. It's the same deal. Basically where the piston was sitting, you can see the line. So what we're gonna do is go through with some WD-40, just get off all that rust right there. Then go through with a ball hone right here. Fits perfectly in there. Go through with that and just hone that out a little bit. A little WD-40, my favorite stuff. Spray that in there. You can see most of the rust was pretty loose in there. It wasn't too bad. Pretty much just surface rust from sitting. A little bit more and then we'll hone this thing out. Alright, let's get a little oil going down here. Just using some 2-stroke oil to lube it up. Alright, that should be good. Now we've got the hone right here. Now what we're going to do is go up and down one direction and then reverse the drill right here and then go the other direction up and down. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see if this thing even fits in there. Oh, perfect fit. And you want to go all the way down. The other direction. I think that's good. Let's check. Looks pretty good to me. Wow. I took everything right off. Looks great. Check that out. Looks pretty good. Looking pretty good. Alright, well, that's pretty much done. Just gonna clean that off and then we'll work on the gasket surface right here. Alright, let's get this gasket material off. Taking a razor blade. Alright, we'll work at this for a bit, come back, and it should be done. Alright, cylinder is all good to go, all honed. The gasket's off of it, and we can put that aside and wait for the parts to come. On to the next step. Alright, all that's left is the carburetor. Gotta get this guy off of here. It looks like it's got a choke right here. That was connected to there. Alright, weird, there's a little screw that's holding it. And then it looks like a throttle that goes right there. We gotta get disconnect before we take this thing off. All right, carburetor's off. Let's take a peek on the inside now. All right, let's look inside the carburetor here. it's not too bad. Just a little gunk in there. Nothing too crazy. That little guy comes out. Probably just gonna put this in the ultrasonic cleaner for a bit. The easiest way to clean a carburetor. So we're running for a main jet. I don't see any markings on it whatsoever. Not really sure. It's plugged up though. Let's see. For the pilot now. $38 for the pilot. Oh, that's actually clear. Huh. Interesting. Fuel screw. Looks like not coming out. Looks like the float will come out. Oh, it's still rubbery on the tip of the needle. That's good. Float. No holes in the float, doesn't feel like. Not yet, anyway. Alright, everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. Looks like that's locked up in there. Let's see. Yeah, let's take a look underneath here. Oh, she's coming now. Ooh, a little corrosion in there. I don't know what's going on in there. What the heck? I don't know how that got like that. Look at that. It's crazy. It's like, I don't know what that is. See, that's stuck in there. Really good, actually. That'll probably come undone in the ultrasonic cleaner. Alright, let's let these soak, and hopefully we can get rid of that crap too. Alright, got it in the ultrasonic cleaner. Gonna set that to probably 25 minutes. Temperature way up here. Alright, let's see what we got here. Ooh, that's hot. Ooh, that's very hot. Oh man, that is very hot. Let's see. We got the other piece over here. Looks like it cleared out all that. We were able to get the slide after about 30 minutes of PB Blaster and WD-40. Finally got that thing to move in there. That thing was stuck pretty good. But everything looks pretty good. We're gonna reassemble that, and carburetor should be done. I think all we're doing is waiting for parts now. We've got the piston coming, we've got the valves coming, we've got the gasket set coming, and then we can start to reassemble this thing. I think the timing chain is fine on this thing. Doesn't look like there's much wear, and the crank is good. So, and we've got spark. So basically all we're doing is waiting for parts at this point. But that's going to be it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for the first start coming up next video on this thing. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Until next time, we are out.